Before we set out on discovering how you can invest in the incredibly lucrative market of trustee sales, we here at Elevation Investments thought it would be important to give you a brief education on how the foreclosure process actually works. The steps leading up to a foreclosure go something like this. When an individual falls behind on their mortgage payments for more than 30 days, the lender files what is called a pre-lien against the property. It's at this time the incessant phone calls from the lender begin in their attempt to discover why the borrower has not made their payment on time. If the borrower is not able to make any payments after 60 days, a lien is then recorded. After 90 days of non-payment, the lender files a notice of default, or a lis pendens. It's at this time the lender usually sends the borrower a letter reminding them that payment is due. This letter lets the borrower know how much they are behind and what to do to restore their mortgage loan to a current status. If payment is still not received, a notice of sale is listed and the foreclosure process begins. The foreclosure process can be ended, however, in one of four ways. First, during the pre-foreclosure period, the borrower can cure the loan by paying off the default amount during the time allowed determined by state law. Second, the borrower sells the property to a third party during this pre-foreclosure period. The sale allows the borrower to pay off the loan and avoid having a foreclosure on his or her credit history. Third, at the beginning of the foreclosure period, a third party buys the property at a public foreclosure auction. And fourth, the lender takes ownership of the property, usually with the intent to resell it on the open market. The lender can take ownership if the property is not sold at the public auction, or through making an agreement with the borrower during the pre-foreclosure period. Properties repossessed by the lender are also known as bank-owned or real estate-owned by the lender. During this foreclosure process, there are three ways in which potential investors can find fantastic bargains. The first is during the pre-foreclosure period. Purchasing a property during the pre-foreclosure period involves an investor researching the title of current homes in default, inspecting the condition of the property, and approaching the owner of the property itself to propose an offer. The owner has the benefit of walking away with something to show for any equity in the property and avoid having a bad mark on his or her credit history. However, in down markets, investors have a difficult time finding deals on these types of properties because of negative equity positions due to falling home prices. The second opportunity is securing property at a public trustee sale auction. If a loan is not reinstated by the end of the pre-foreclosure period, a trustee sale auction is held in order for a lender to attempt to recover all or at least some of the amount owed on a defaulted loan. The trustee sale auction is tricky business to the novice investor, mainly because before a property goes up for sale at the auction, there is very little time to do research on the title of the property or inspect its condition. In addition to that, buyers are required to pay the purchase price in full with cash or cashier's check at the close of bidding. However, these trustee sales often offer the best bargains during the foreclosure process and avoids the unpredictability of having to deal directly with a property's owner. These are the sales that Elevation Investments specializes in, and with our experienced team behind you each step of the way, investors are realizing discounts of 20 to 40% below current market value. The final opportunity to find discounted real estate is through real estate-owned or REO property. If the bank takes ownership of the property either through an agreement with the owner during pre-foreclosure, or if the property is not purchased at the public trustee auction, the lender will usually want to resell the property to recover the unpaid loan amount. As we all know, banks aren't really in the business of selling houses, and if a property is returned to them, they must now go through the expense of clearing the title on the foreclosed property, as well as perform any needed maintenance and repair. Because of this, The potential profit margin for an investor purchasing an REO home is typically much less than with a pre-foreclosure or trustee sale. Now that you've received this brief education on how the foreclosure process works, don't you think it's about time that you got involved in purchasing discounted real estate? At Elevation Investments, we focus our attention solely on trustee sales because it is at these auctions where the highest profit margins are found. Our proven research methods and inside property information provide our investors the highest return for their investment dollar. So give Elevation Investments a call today and let us see what we can do for you.